In this video, we will talk about most pressing issue we are facing across the world, coronavirus or COVID-19. Coronavirus has forced large portion of world population under lockdown, caused hundreds of thousands of deaths, job losses and created an environment of fear and anxiety. In this video, we will try to address some of the questions people have in their mind like what is coronavirus, how it spreads, how deadly it is, do we have cure for this or we will have in the future, when the lockdown will open, will we be able to go back to work, and there are lots of questions to answer. So let us get started. First, let us start with absolute basics. What is virus or what is bacteria? A virus typically replicates only inside the living cell of an organism. Virus can infect all life forms, which include animals, plants, and even bacteria. There are millions of different viruses in world. When virus infect us, a cell is forced to rapidly produce thousands of identical copies of original virus. In layman terms, viruses are nothing but proteins. They do not have cell structure. Viruses do not have their own metabolism. They are not alive and they only come to life when they infect somebody. So when we say let us kill the virus, well, technically speaking, we cannot kill the virus when they are lying outside. Although alcohols like sanitizers or soaps can disintegrate their structure, thereby disabling them. Viruses spread through air when we cough, some of them spread through blood, some of them spread through water or food we eat. Common human diseases caused by viruses include common cold, influenza or flu. So now let us talk about bacteria. Bacteria are a type of biological cell. Bacteria were among the first life forms to appear on Earth about 4 billion years ago and are present in most of the environments. Nearly all animal life is dependent on bacteria for survival, as only bacteria can produce vitamin B12. Do you know how many bacteria are there in a gram of soil? Well, it's 40 million bacterial cells and about million bacterial cells can be present in a millimeter of fresh water. In humans and most animals, the largest number of bacteria exist in their stomach and large number of them on their skin. Most of the bacteria in the body are harmless and many are beneficial to us. However, several types of bacteria are pathogenic and cause infections. The most common fatal bacterial diseases are respiratory infections. Tuberculosis alone kills about 2 million people every year in world. Unlike viruses, bacteria are living thing, have metabolism and reproduce by cell division. Under optimal conditions, bacteria can grow and divide extremely rapidly and bacterial population can double as quickly as every 10 minutes. Now we know about bacteria and viruses, let us talk about most prominent pandemics human civilization has faced in history. Plague of Athens in 430 to 426 BCE killed a quarter of the population. This disease reduced the dominance of Athens empire. The plague killed and eliminated 75,000 to 100,000 people. Next up is Antonian plague. In 165 to 180 AD, it killed up to 5 million people in total. Next up is plague of Justinian, 541 to 750 AD. The first recorded outbreak of bubonic plague. It started in Egypt, killing 10,000 a day at its height and perhaps 40% of the city's population. The plague went on to eliminate almost 50% of the human population of the world. Next is Black Death in 1331 to 1353. This is the most fatal pandemic recorded in human history. The total number of deaths worldwide is estimated at 75 to 200 million deaths. The 1980 flu pandemic was influenza pandemic caused by an unusually severe and deadly influenza virus. The most recent estimate suggests as many as 100 million people were died. During 20th century, there were 3 pandemics caused by influenza virus, which were severe and occurred in 1918, 1957 and 1968. The most recent pandemic of course is COVID-19. So human civilization has survived many pandemics in the history. Our healthcare system has evolved over the years, especially in last 100 years. Advancement in healthcare has led to many treatments, drugs, vaccine, operating procedures, saving millions of lives. This has increased life expectancy. So, at the start of this 20th century, life expectancy was hovering around 30 years. Humans lived on 30 years on average just 100 years ago. That was just crazy. And now humans on average live over 70 years. Another number is death rate or mortality rate, which has dropped from 19.1 per year per 1000 persons to 8.1 now. Well, with these improvements, question comes to mind: how many people die every year in world? Well, over 60 million people die every year in world, meaning about 200,000 people die every day in world. Wait, what? 200,000? Yes, you heard it right. That's a big number. Just to put in context, about 30,000 people die in India or China every day. About 8,000 people die every day in US. Okay, so a lot of people die every year. Then what are the causes of death? Cardiovascular disease or simply heart diseases top the list with 17 million deaths worldwide in a year, followed by cancer with 9.56 million deaths, respiratory diseases about 4 million deaths, and lower respiratory infections about 2.56 million deaths. Surprisingly, road accidents result in deaths of about 1.24 million people each year across the world. Okay, now with all this information in hand, let us handle the topic, the big gorilla in the room, the coronavirus. You have heard terms like coronavirus, COVID 19, SARS CoV 2. So there are a lot of terms, and this is causing a lot of confusion like what really is the name of this disease? Well, coronaviruses are group of related viruses that cause respiratory infections in humans. Human coronavirus were discovered in 1960s. There are 7 types of coronaviruses. The one which is causing havoc across the world is SARS-CoV-2, which is the name of the virus, and the disease that this virus is causing is COVID-19. 19 because it started in year 2019. 4 of these coronaviruses continuously circulate in the human population and produce the generally mild symptoms of common cold worldwide. 3 human coronaviruses produce symptoms that are potentially severe. These viruses are severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus SARS-CoV, Middle East respiratory syndrome related coronavirus MERS-CoV, severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 SARS-CoV-2, the COVID-19 which we are facing right now. Severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS. In 2003, the outbreak of severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS started. More than 8,000 people were infected and about 800 of them died. Middle East respiratory syndrome MERS. In September 2012, a new type of coronavirus was identified, initially called novel coronavirus 2012 and now officially named Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus MERS. December 2019, 2,468 cases of MERS infection had been confirmed by laboratory tests and 851 of them died. Now let us talk about coronavirus disease 2000 COVID-19. In December 2019, a pneumonia outbreak was reported in Wuhan, China. On 31st December 2019, the outbreak was traced to novel strain of coronavirus, which was given the name SARS-CoV-2. Since then, disease has spread globally, and as of 3rd of May 2020, there have been at least 250,000 confirmed deaths and more than 3.5 million cases worldwide. Countries like USA, Italy, Spain, and UK have been worst hit by this disease. Common symptoms of COVID-19 include fever, cough, fatigue, shortness of breath, and loss of smell and taste. While majority of cases result in mild symptoms like common cold, some progress to viral pneumonia, multi-organ failure. Mild cases typically recover within 2 weeks. while those with severe or critical diseases may take 3 to 6 weeks to recover. There are many asymptomatic cases, meaning patients infected with virus do not show any symptoms. Experts believe there could be 40 to 50% more cases which could be asymptomatic than which are reported in media. The virus is primarily spread between people during close contact, often via small droplets produced by coughing, sneezing, or talking. People may also become infected by touching a contaminated surface and then touching their face. Recommended measures to prevent infection include frequent hand washing, maintaining physical distance, and wearing masks. Coronavirus came from where? The studies that indicate coronavirus may have come from bats in famous Hanan seafood market in Wuhan, China. There are also conspiracy theories about virus came from laboratory in the Wuhan, China. But as of now, source of coronavirus is not known yet. Does sunlight kill coronavirus? Studies have shown that direct exposure of coronavirus to sunlight, humidity, or temperature weakens the virus. How long virus can survive on different surfaces? Coronavirus can survive up to 3 days on plastic, up to 24 hours on hard surfaces like floor, and less than 3 hours on hand or tissue paper. How quickly COVID-19 spreads? Scientists use RO, the reproduction number, to describe the intensity of an infectious disease and its spread. RO is the number of cases on average an infected person will cause during the infectious period. So if disease occurs to one person, how many other people he will infect is what RO indicates. Ebola has RO of 1.5 to 2.5. So let's say one person gets infected with Ebola, he will infect another 1.5 to 2.5 people. H1N1 or swine flu has RO of 1.46. COVID-19 has RO of 1.5 to 3.5. Although this will take some time for scientists to finalize this number. Measles has RO of 12 to 18 and is very infectious and spreads very quickly. Social distancing is used to slow the spread of virus. Each avoided case leads to more avoided cases down the line, which in turn can stop the outbreak. This is the reason why governments across the world have adopted social distancing and enforced lockdowns. The idea behind social distancing is to flatten the curve so that we do not overwhelm the healthcare system and too many people show up in hospital at the same time causing chaos. However, there are countries who have not adopted lockdowns and instead kept their economies open. Sweden is one example which kept its economy largely open. Still, death rates in Sweden, although higher than Norway or Netherlands, but are lower than worst hit countries like Italy and Spain. Germany is another country which has kept large part of its economy open with surprisingly very low death rates. This has forced many people to question the efficacy of social distancing. Now let us look at mortality rate or death rate of coronavirus. Children make up small portion of reported cases, with about 1% of cases being under 10 years and 4% aged 10 to 19 years. They are likely to have much milder symptoms and lower chances of severe disease than adults. For those younger than 50 years, the risk of death is less than 0.5%, while those older than 70, it is more than 8%. Pregnant women are at higher risk of severe infection with COVID-19. Most of the people who are dying of COVID-19 are above 50 and have pre-existing underlying conditions including hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. The recent Stanford University antibody study now estimates that the fatality rate of infected is likely 0.1 to 0.2%. Seasonal flu has fatality rate of 0.1%. Flu kills up to 650,000 people every year in the world, whereas pneumonia kills about 2 to 3 million people every year. How widespread coronavirus is? Currently, there are estimates of about 2 to 5% of world population is infected. The numbers could vary from country to country and city to city. Spread is much more than diagnosed cases reported in media and could be 10 times more than reported number. For example, in New York currently there are over 300,000 positive cases reported, indicating about 1.5% of population being infected. But New York carried out antibody tests randomly in about 15,000 people to check how many people have antibodies of coronavirus, and about 15% of population is infected in New York, showing very high number. Now we know about viruses, bacteria and their infection. What about the drugs to treat these infections? Now, first category of drugs that you would have heard is antibiotics. Antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infections. They cannot be used to treat viral infections. Alexander Fleming discovered modern day penicillin in 1928, the widespread use of which proved significantly beneficial during wartime. Antibiotics have also led to their overuse, and some bacteria have evolved resistance to them. Next category of drugs are antivirals. Unlike most antibiotics, antiviral drugs do not destroy their target virus. Instead, they stop their development. The life cycle of the virus is then halted. Antiviral drugs in use target different stages of viral life cycle. Next up, you would have heard about vaccines. Vaccination is a cheap and effective way of preventing infections by viruses. Their use has resulted in dramatic decline in illness and death associated with viral infections, such as polio, measles, mumps, and rubella. Vaccination has helped in avoiding an estimated 2 to 3 million deaths every year. So, what are the vaccines? How do they work? Many believe vaccines are some sort of a medicines which cure the infection. When you take vaccine, you take the virus of that disease inside your body. Virus? What? Yes, what you heard is right. When you inject vaccine, you are injecting virus inside your body. But these are weakened viruses which do not cause disease. By fighting the weak virus, your body learns how to fight virus and generates antibodies. So vaccines are like training before actual battle. And when you get infected with real virus, your body already has training on how to kill the virus. There are other drugs that typically help relax symptoms associated with disease. Example, paracetamol is used to reduce the fever. These medicines do not kill bacteria or viruses but help reduce symptoms, thereby making us feel better. But our own immune system has to fight infection and cure itself. Most of the times, doctors prescribe these medicines when we first show up, and in most cases, you will get better with these medicines only. Antibiotics, antivirals, or steroids are only prescribed if your symptoms get worse. Antibiotics, antivirals, steroids have side effects and hence are generally avoided. Now let us talk about medicines for COVID-19. As per the World Health Organization, as of now, there is no specific treatment for COVID-19. There are more than 300 active clinical trials underway. There are 4 studies on hydroxychloroquine, but there are mixed results as of now to the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for COVID-19, with some studies showing little or no improvement of it with azithromycin. On May 1, 2020, the United States gave emergency use authorization for remdesivir in people hospitalized with severe COVID-19 after studies suggested that this drug reduced the duration of recovery. Since there are many trials underway, with healthcare companies and governments pushing very hard, there is likelihood of effective drug available in next 4 to 6 months. Now let us talk about vaccine for coronavirus. There is no available coronavirus vaccine yet, but various agencies are actively developing the candidates. On March 16, 2020, the first clinical trial of a vaccine started with 4 volunteers in Seattle, United States. Pharma giant Pfizer has already injected the first experimental vaccine on patients in US. Scientists at Jenner Institute of Oxford University claim to have made a potential vaccine for coronavirus. WHO data says 4 vaccines under human trial in China. These vaccines are now undergoing phase 1 and phase 2 human trials. Many companies have expressed optimism that they will have vaccine candidate available that can be deployed in large scale clinical trials potentially in millions of people by last quarter of 2020. However, vaccination of hundreds of millions of people will only be possible in first half of 2021. Economic and other impacts of coronavirus. Countries across the world have enforced or guided social distancing measures, shutting down businesses to slow the spread. This has created huge impact on global economy. Major stock markets were down 35 to 40% in March, effectively wiping out trillions of dollars of investor wealth. There are widespread job losses across the globe. In US alone, more than 30 billion people have lost jobs. This pandemic has caused major hit to global GDP, and estimates of world GDP hit range from 10 to 30% in quarter 2 and quarter 3 of year 2020. Secondary effects of coronavirus include child abuse, increase in domestic violence, depression, suicide. Since there are lockdowns in most part of the world, people are not able to go out and treat their pre-existing health conditions, which could create long-term health effects. So how long this pandemic will continue? Well, COVID-19 now is here to stay going forward and will continue to affect us every year just like normal flu. By doing social distancing, we slowed spread of virus, thereby prolonging the period in which it runs through the majority of population. If you look at the data, coronavirus is similar to seasonal flu in mortality rate and its spread. Although slightly more dangerous now than flu, over time virus will mutate and will become less dangerous. COVID-19 affects elderly and people with existing conditions more, and in most cases symptoms are mild, and there are many asymptomatic cases. Although we do not have effective medications and vaccines available right now, that is likely to change in 4 to 6 months. Since the goal of social distancing is to flatten the curve and that has largely been achieved, we should start opening up economy, because secondary effects on economy and human psychology could cause more damage if we continue lockdown going forward. We can open the economy in phases and slowly to avoid resurgence of new cases and infections. Even if we open up the economy, people who can work from home will work from home. Most people going forward will wear masks, will do social distancing, will avoid going to crowded places. People will avoid going to restaurants. They will also avoid travel and only travel if it is necessary. This is because coronavirus has created fear in people's mind and it will take some time for it to subside. Because of this, chances of increase in infection after opening up the economy are there but could be lower. Also, many experts have warned there is a risk of coronavirus coming back in winter towards the end of 2020 again. But the risk can be greatly mitigated by some antiviral and antidote medicine and possibly vaccine and wide availability of testing capacity, so that we can test, isolate and also do contact tracing and then isolate the people who are gotten in contact with the infected. We have lived through many pandemics in human history and we have come out stronger than before. We will come out of this pandemic also stronger. We have dealt pandemics when we did not have modern healthcare system. But now, with 21st century modern healthcare system, we should be able to navigate this pandemic well. Thank you for watching this video. Stay safe. Goodbye.